The first murder in southwest Nebraska. Oh, there have been a pile of murders over the years. But would you like to know the first murder that happened here in southwest Nebraska? It was the year of 1870, and two 19-year-old white men who had come from large families back in Pennsylvania couldn't find any land there to farm, and so out west they came. They came with 6 cows and a wagon pulled by 2 horses. The two men, when they got to the Missouri River, decided to buy a rifle, so they bought a Sharps used rifle, and they were hurting for money though, and they only had enough money to buy 9 bullets. And they had the rifle with the hopes of, instead of killing a cow the first winter, they would go shoot a buffalo. They homesteaded near the nowadays Nebraska City, and that fall, with the horses and wagon, they headed west to kill a buffalo. Now the army told them not to cross over onto the north side of the Republican River, which was still owned by the Sioux tribe, and the Sioux would kill them if they found them on that land. Almost 2 weeks it took them to get west of McCook, some distance. They finally found buffalo and also a good sand blowout, as the last thing they wanted to do was start the prairie on fire. They shot 2 large buffalo, and over the next 3 days they cut up and smoked the meat, and was about ready to go back home. They had seen lots of sign along the trip of native activity, but no Indians had been sighted. That morning they were ready to leave, and on top of the bluff, watching them, was an Indian on his horse. Yes, it was south of the river, and was Pawnee land, but being little over a mile south of the river, the Sioux warrior could have crossed over quite easily, and the two men didn't know by sight of the native which tribe he might be with. The Pawnee would most likely be friendly, but if it was Sioux, and with a heavy buffalo meat loaded wagon, a native could get back and bring a lot of help to and then kill the 2 white men and take their meat and horses. So the two in fear spoke of their options, and the fact that they only had 1 rifle and 7 bullets left would not make much of a fight of it if they were attacked. It was then decided to kill the native, and with that they took the rifle, and it was near 200 yards shot. But the Sharps rifle was more than capable of killing at that range, and the young men fired, shooting the Indian off his horse. The horse could be seen still up on the ridge as a wagon pulled out, and the 2 young men got out of the area and back home safely. One of the young men so liked this area, though, that years later he came back and he bought property and moved his family to within 3 miles of where he had killed buffalo and killed that Indian in the fall of 1870. His family kept the farm until the Depression of the 1929. His grandson, who was 82 years old when he related that story to me in the year 2000, and for proof he showed me his grandfather's Sharps rifle. So I held a rifle that killed a buffalo and murdered an Indian. It would be easy to condemn the 2 men from back east for the murder, but if you were 2 weeks wagon ride to the nearest help and a possible enemy was checking you out, I'm not sure you would not lean on the side of caution, killing the stranger who might be an enemy. So now you know the first murder that ever took place in southwest Nebraska by white men.